Tym Moss.
Hey, Wendy Stuart, how are you?
How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am great. Would you like to welcome everybody to this show called
If These Walls Could Talk?
Yes. You know what? I am feeling really good because the weather, I know it's going to plummet again to the 30s. That's what I heard.
So enjoy it now.
Right. But you know what? I am enjoying it now. As everyone knows, and you know, I'm a spring person. This winter for me, I don't mind sharing it, was freaking brutal. I have, seasonal affective disorder. Most people don't know that because they see me out all the time at shows and in clubs and working. But I got to tell you, I take on all these things so I don't think about how I want to be in the corner of the couch. I am so not kidding you.
Yeah. Well, I am a winter person. I love the winter, and this winter was even too much for me.
It was too much. Right. You grew up in the Midwest.
Yeah. But oh my God, it was so cold this winter. And then it was like not one, but two blizzards hit us. I
know. We were like double blizzard. Right. Like 3 weeks ago, it was -17 with the wind chill.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 days, yesterday it hit 80 in Central Park. Thank God, enjoy it while you can. But listen, you know, I'm always out there, always doing. This week was really interesting because many people know I am like the head docent. I hate using that word at the Explorers Club, where I am also a member. But we had an author come talk there about she actually became a firefighter, but she is a PhD. Became a firefighter because her area of specialty is, believe it or not, controlled burns. Now, that's probably something none of us think about. When we hear of wildfires, we think of California and all of our friends that lost everything. Part of the reason California got so out of control is because of all the houses built around there and just how people look at setting fires intentionally, which are good. I learned that for the environment, believe it or not, a control burn is good. That's what her whole talk was about. And she's worked in Australia. And I know she came out with a new book called Ignition. Oh God, I can't think of a better word. I know our guest is over here laughing, but you know what? It's also interesting. And then I did a podcast this week, John and Kelly, and I haven't released it yet. And I got that award for most influential women for we had World Women's History. So and you know what? It was really, thank God it was a blessed week. And Sunday, I want to give a shout out that Laura Dunn is our candidate who's running for
this coming Sunday.
Yeah, New York District 12. And I'm co-host for her fundraiser along with Summer Strand and Dorothy. Our lovely Dorothy Bishop is performing.
And that is at the Stonewall.
It is at the Stonewall. And yeah, if you're listening.
4 to 7, I think.
It is 4 to 7. Yeah. And
I will be there.
I figured you would be, Tim. I'm excited about it. I love Laura's platform.
I do too. I do too.
She identifies as a queer woman, and she is out there. And she also, it's her background as a lawyer, a civil rights lawyer, and a victims lawyer. You know, Laura gets down there. She gets her hands dirty. And I have to shout out here that her opponents that she's running against, she's running against tech people, crypto people. Laura raised all the money for her campaign by herself.
And Kennedy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even mention him, but I gave right. And I know, right? All right. A charismatic Kennedy. And he's lovely. But you know what? I'm in Laura's court, as you are, Tim.
Same here.
So get out there and vote for Laura.
Yep. Well, last Thursday, I did something I've never done, believe it or not. I hauled my butt out with my friend Jessica. We went all the way out to Jersey City. Long trek to Jersey City. And I went and saw 50 Shades of Gay.
Yay!
Because I've never seen 50 Shades of Gay.
Never been an audience
from the audience.
Right.
I'm always in the show. It's really a fun show. Who knew?
And you loved it.
It was in New Jersey, so he had all New Jersey cast.
Yeah, it was all our Jersey friends.
So yeah, It was fun. It was fun to go out
I
for that.
gotta hand it to you, Tim. It was raining cats and dogs that night.
Yes, it was. It was
working late, so I couldn't make it anyway. But even so, the weather would have turned me off. But our wonderful friend Cecily Williams, with a voice like an angel, crazy girl. Mickey talked about the launch of what's going to be his new short about transitioning, was there. Alexi Lovato, and who am I missing?
That about covered
Lower Welsh.
Clover.
Right.
Yeah.
These are all crazy.
But then on Friday, my roommate took me out for a belated Christmas. We had been trying to sync up our schedules since December. But she took me out for omakase sushi. That was like what you and I had that time, where they make individual and feed you one at a time for, like, they have a whole menu.
The place we went to, Tim, was amazing. They chose for us. Did they choose for you this time?
Yes. Yeah, they had their whole prefix menu, and it was just one piece of sushi at a time that they prepare right in front of you and give you, and then you eat that, and then he starts to prepare the next one, and it's just a fun, calm, relaxing evening. But yeah, she took me out for omakase.
Where did you go have that? I have a reason.
It's on the Upper West Side at about 98th and Amsterdam, I think.
Okay, you know how much the omakase is in my neighborhood, East Side, right? And in like a place even smaller than the one you and I ate at, that was really small. It's $62.
Wow.
Do you know what your bill was? Because I'm going to go where you went.
Yeah, I think it was about 58 or 59.
Okay, then it's expensive, I guess, because
it is. It's very expensive everywhere. But I wasn't paying. That was her Christmas present to me.
What a great Christmas present! You have
It was delightful. Then last night, or I'm sorry, 2 nights ago, Monday night, I went to my friend Andrew Christie. He's a PR man, and he had hit me up because he had asked me if I would cover this fashion event.
Yes.
For Fashion Week. Well, he had hit me up and he said, we got snowed out because of the blizzard, so we had to move it because I wasn't available on the original date. And he says, are you available Monday? Come by and cover this. I would love to have you there. I said, sure. So I went. We had a ball. It was absolutely wonderful. Alex Soldier's Jewelry was the one that was hosting it. And they had a couple of other fashion designers, and they basically mixed and combined everything. Like they would wear one outfit, but with the Alex Soldier design jewelry. And they didn't have a runway; they just mingled. So it was like a party, and all of the models were just coming out, and you just walk up and talk to them, and it was fabulous. It was a wonderful fashion show, and I talked to a lot of the I can't think of his name, Malik Yoba. He's a pretty big star. He was on New York Undercover and
cool. And he was there.
Several things. Yeah, I interviewed him. We sat and talked for almost 20 minutes. We had a great time.
Very cool. That should be fun editing that, right?
Yeah. But it was a really wonderful night. That was really fun.
What was the location, Tim? Where was it?
That was down at Park South Hotel. Over by Gramercy Park.
What a wonderful
it's like about I'm trying to think. Yeah, about 28th Street.
Cool.
Yeah, off the park.
Really cool.
Now, also, just two other things. You know that I'm doing Project Transcend. I'm one of the producers.
Share that with everyone.
We got six incredible artists together, and they're all either trans or non-binary. And it was a 12-week program called Body Mapping, where each artist would lay down on canvas. We trace their body, and then they create their story within the confines of their body. And it was amazing. Now, each one of these artists are brilliant artists in their own right and have their own separate art pieces.
Sure.
We are going to have an artist market for them at New York City Pride at their offices, which is 154 Christopher Street, on March 19th. That's a Thursday night. So anybody can come and see their art and buy their art that they want. Now, as far as the Project Transcend art pieces, I got them a 3-month installation at the LGBT Center on 13th Street. And we're having an opening reception on March 31st. That's Tuesday, March 31st from 6 to 9. So come to either one of those events. I'll be posting about it. So follow me.
And the 6 to 9 is already on my calendar. So yeah, if you're listening, make sure you show up. It's an amazing project. Tim has put a lot of effort into it. You know, we always want to show our support. I have one more thing to share. I actually booked 2 roles in 2 films. I can only take one because I have a conflict. You know what? It is what it is, and it always happens like this. It's a wonderful role. I am playing a very bitchy aunt. Very
ants are fun.
My guest is laughing. The bitchy aunt role. Yep, she's perfect for it. But, I'm shooting at the end of March. I'm excited about that. No, it is not a Netflix film, but everyone knows I'm constantly putting, like, I chant for a Netflix film, right? Because that's going to solve everything for me. 6-week contracts. I'll be in warm places, you know, when the weather is crummy. But until I get that, I'm taking small roles in small independent films. I'm your girl, the bitchy.
Yes.
So
now, one other thing, real quick. 50 Shades of Gay, which I travel throughout.
You're traveling with them.
I travel with Ike Avelli. It's his show, but the 2 of us have kind of developed it over the years.
Yeah.
So I travel with him in 50 Shades of Gay, and we're going to be going to San Diego, Atlanta, and Tampa. Yep. We've got those shows coming up between April and June, I think. So
right. And let people know they can. Ike actually has the dates posted on his Facebook page and on his website.
Good thing he does, because I have no idea.
Right, and I kind of figured you
airport.
He does. So if you're in San Diego or you're going to be in any of those places, you can go to his website, which is under his name. I don't know it exactly, but you'll find it. And also if you're friends with him on Facebook. So yeah, you can see the Ike and Tim show.
And now, speaking of world traveling entertainers, take it away.
Okay. Well, we have a world traveling entertainer today, but actually, you know what? She's going to be very close to home. She's going to be having a residency at Pangea with the first show starting March 20th. Okay. Yay. It's got a great name. She's a stand-up comedian. The show is called Miss Personality. She was voted by Curve magazine as one of the funniest women in America. I think she's hilarious. Yeah. And there was actually a quote I read about her where she was, found to be as funny as Randy Rainbow. So, I mean, come on. It doesn't get any better than that. Please put your hands together for Mina Hartong.
Yay, Mina.
I don't know if these walls could talk.
Wait, if these walls could talk, what would they say? We're so happy to have you here. My mother had a saying, charity begins at home. I'm here every week with Tim, and I love that you're performing here, that you're going to be doing a residency. We'll have those future dates. But March 20th.
Yeah, so March 20th is next week.
Oh my God, it's coming fast and furious.
I am so lucky to have this home here
at Pangea. Thank you. I love it.
I love that we're here right now. I can be here, just be around it. Every time I walk in
it's
here,
great
it feels
energy.
like home. I feel welcome.
Right.
I love Steven, all the staff here. They're so good to us. I tell all comedians who do shows here. They take such good care of us. So I'm just gushing about Pangea.
Well, we're so gushing to have you here today, and your show, Miss Personality.
So Miss Personality is also the name of my new comedy special.
It's a special, right?
Yeah. So I perform it live. It's a full hour, and I also have a filmed version of it that is now working towards distribution. It might take a while, but it'll eventually hopefully be on Apple TV, etc.
Cool.
I know how you feel about Netflix. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be nice?
I'm going to chant for both of us.
Namyo Renge Kyo.
Netflix, 5-minute special. Okay.
We did it. It's done to the universe.
Okay. So I perform it live, and also it's a film version. So next week, 7:00 here at Pangea, March 20th. You can have dinner, come at 6, see the show. Dinner's great. It's a full hour. I sing, I dance. I might give some
You dance really good, by the way. When I was perusing through your YouTube, I found that clip of you. She calls it dance like no one's watching. Yeah. And I'm like, you go, girl.
Especially for
she's
Tim.
A good dancer.
I also have a dance move about all the gay men who've had too few dance lessons and too much dance space. Wrote that one for you.
No, I'm sorry, because I dance all the time. I have tickets to go to the Good Room, big gay dance party.
I miss dancing.
Well, you can come out with me. I'll give you the
Will you tell me
information. Right, but they do. But the
does-
gay men take up. Let's
I
talk
know.
about
But we
that.
have
Right.
to infiltrate. We have to infiltrate.
Right.
Well, actually, the gay men taught me to dance back in the Castro when I came out in the 1900s. So
You came out in the Castro.
I came out in Greenwich,
Jesus.
Connecticut, and then I went directly. And then I went
Castro.
I love that you came out in Greenwich. We'll just forget about Greenwich and we'll just
let's not
talk
try
about
to
that.
jump on the
And-
afternoon.
Yeah, you may as well go to the top. Go to the top.
Right, Tim,
on.
right? You came
Yeah.
out before Ellen DeGeneres. You
I
said.
did.
Oh my
Before I-
God, this is like
I know.
Mina is legend,
Oh,
legend right in here.
Yes,
There-
I've got the show next Friday. Please come. I
Yes.
mean, I love performing live in New York. It's my home venue, and I'll have more dates coming up this year.
Yeah,
Right
and,
here at the
you'll
Pangea.
of course stay in touch and let us know. You've been doing
Absolutely.
comedy for over 20 years.
I've been doing comedy since the 1990s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
But
firstly, Mina, I just have to say we are so twinning with our hair,
Oh yeah, my
Right?
God.
right?
Wait, hold on. I have a piece too.
You've got the asymmetrical haircut.
Yeah, the
going
We
on.
are like we're like twinsies.
I know. I love it. Now I feel even more glamorous now that you have. it
Mine
shaved
is so
down.
I can hide.
Yeah.
That's what a hairdresser said to me. You have those pieces so you can hide behind them.
You
I'm like,
shouldn't hide any of this
that-
beautiful.
oh,
face.
you're so sweet.
My
No,
dad
that's
actually
sweet.
hates my haircut that's in the show. So come see the show and I'll talk.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, you
So
absolutely.
now, so 20 years in comedy.
Yeah.
Back to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Early 90s.
So 30-ish years in comedy and then a 20-year hiatus to teach public schools. So I was a theater
Right.
teacher here in
Yeah.
the public schools in New York City.
Which schools?
Oh gosh, they're all just numbers, you know.
Yeah, I
like-
know. I went to public
Right.
school. in New
Okay,
York.
so
I'm a
like
New
I
York
was in
girl.
Park Slope, Brooklyn, then in
Oh,
Flushing
wow.
and Queens. So mostly Brooklyn and Queens. And then
Uh-huh.
I also in Connecticut for a while, but always public school theater kids.
I love it.
You know,
Right.
and it was great, but you know, when I got to be, you know, a certain age.
Yes, that's what we
I was
say.
like, you know, I can't pursue the comedy full time and also do the teaching. It was just too
Yeah.
much to do
Yeah.
shows till 11
Right.
and then wake up and face, you know, 400 kids a week. So I
with a
made,
lesson plan.
I mean, the teaching gig is a good, solid income.
yes,
Absolutely.
It's good security,
yes,
but
it is. It is definitely job security, you know, health and.
But you were public school is 5 days a week. Like the private school teachers are not 5 days a week. They don't make as much, but it's still a paid
Yeah,
gig.
they still work them hard though. You know, like what I
Right.
found out is that teaching is the job. It's not a day job.
Right.
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 So
It
I
is.
was coaching my high school students to get ready for their college auditions, and I had this moment. I'm not a mom. I'm an aunt, like you.
Yeah.
Auntie.
Sometimes bitchy, sometimes not. Depends on
Right.
the day.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was coaching this kid for their auditions, a student I'm still in touch with, and I thought, what about my dream? So I made a big pivot.
Good for
In
you.
January of 2020, who knew?
Oh my God.
It's been that long,
And
right?
the next thing I know,
right.
I'm doing Zoom shows during the pandemic.
Yes, we all did.
This feels very reminiscent of that.
And you had to put your
That's
Venmo
right.
up there. You had to have a Venmo.
I had to put
I didn't
makeup on.
I didn't know what Venmo was, and I'm like, why do I need to have that? They're like, people are going to tip you, and I said, why are they going to tip me?
I
I think it was an Icavelli show that we did online. I'm like, why are they going to tip me? I'm like on a Zoom thing,
Yeah,
and
but
everyone had to
it's the
explain.
only way to make money.
Right.
I didn't know what
Yeah.
a reason it was.
Right?
None of it.
Now, right?
But the thing is, I'm very connected with young people because I was a teacher. So I
Right.
just asked the young people,
Ah,
I'm like,
Right.
what do I do?
Good.
What's the ring light?
Yeah,
right.
what's all of these things?
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because ring lights come in all different sizes too.
No, these are fabulous.
Well, I have a
Now,
lot of ring
my-
lights. Yes.
Now, one of my best friends is a trans man who is a middle school theater teacher at 2 middle schools in Teaneck.
Kid. I love
Mhm.
Kid.
And over the next 2 weeks, each show or each school is doing Frozen. So I'm going to be going out and spending the day in the classrooms with him, which is very fun. But oh my God, is that a full day? I don't know how teachers do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Well,
is.
I don't know how you did it for so long.
I
My
don't either.
gosh.
I need a coffee, I guess. I mean, first of all, thank you for going to the school shows because there's nothing like
Yeah.
a school show, right? I
Oh,
love
right.
doing the school productions, but it is a whole life teaching. And then July and August, you
Yeah.
have some time to
Well,
live.
you have off because you need to recover from the whole
and that's
school
the
year.
thing. Everyone's like,
especially-
well, do
yeah.
comedy in the summer. I'm like, I need to,
Yeah,
take a nap.
recover. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. No regrets. I loved it, but now I'm really happy to be doing comedy full time. I still teach.
Which is
I
great.
teach part time. I coach comedy. I substitute.
That's smart. Everything has got to do with comedy, but it's not sucking the life's blood blood out of you.
Exactly.
Right.
I feel like I've known you forever.
I know.
So I'm a lunch lady. I walk dogs. I babysit. Well, whatever I have to do to make it work. But I want to do the comedy. That's why I filmed the special. I'm trying to hit big and break through.
Sure. I love it. Hit big and break through.
And I'm sure those years of teaching, you've got a lot to draw on for your comedy.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in front of almost anyone if I can stand up in front of all those kids.
I know,
for
New
sure.
York schools.
So you teach comedy. Like, what is some of the misconceptions that somebody wanting to get into comedy might have?
Well, it's such a good question because, first of all, so many people are doing comedy now, right?
Right.
Saturated, no complaints, but oversaturated with comedians, which is great.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Do not even say it's not. I'm so sick of it. I've been at this a long time, even longer than you. I paid my dues.
I blew the Netflix dues right there. I blew it.
That was comedy right there.
I'm always about the positive. So anyway. But the misconceptions are that, first of all, you can teach comedy. I mean, you can't necessarily make someone into a comedian. If they don't have it, they don't have it. But you can teach the technical aspect of comedy. You can teach how to write a good joke. You can teach delivery. You can teach opening and closing. There are a lot of skills.
There's technical skills.
Hosting, very technical skill.
But see, it seems like so many follow the same pattern over and over and over again. So many of them do. And we don't have like a Sam Kinison or like people who just come out of left field with these hysterical breakthrough styles. What's his name? He was on the Suitcase, the Deal or No Deal. Howie Mandel.
Right.
When he first started, he was hysterical.
Right. So to play devil's advocate here, thank you, because there is a lot of truth in what you're saying. So a lot of truth in what Tim's saying. I actually met Robin Williams.
Oh, wow.
Right. But the comedians that Tim's talking about and like a Robin Williams, trust me, I took a comedy course called the Steve Rosenfeld Comedy Experience. What the fuck was I doing in that class? I was already working and getting booked as a comedic person. Yeah. Some people do have, as to Tim's point, a natural style and a natural ability. Yeah. But to your point, I really think for people that go into acting, learning those comedy techniques is invaluable because they get a role that they may not know what to do with. They can certainly pull from that. So there's something to be said on both ends.
I mean, there's so many things to say about it because I'm from the theater, right? So I came into comedy from a background.
Of
so
course.
I like a Lily Tomlin or characters or
yes,
all of that. I mean, there's so many different kinds of comedy, right? There's punchlines, but now we have this narrative comedy that's very popular since Hannah Gadsby broke through with Nanette, where she's like, I'm just going to, talk about trauma while I talk about comedy. And she
who are some of those comedians? Throw some of them out.
Tig Notaro, who talked about having cancer.
Right.
I mean, just like comedy is just, there's the subject matter is so much more open now in terms of what we can call comedy. But at the same time, there is skill to it that you must learn. And what's challenging, I think, for me as a comedian coming from where I'm coming from is that I'm not a terrific content creator. And a lot of people create great content on Instagram, and then I see them on stage. I'm like, you don't really have the theatrical skill. There's something to live performance. I'm a bit of a purist. I'm a theater person. I taught theater, but I prefer a theatrical comic who has the performance skills to back it up.
But in these times, devil's advocate again, we're on your side. But then you go on freaking TikTok and Joe Schmoes not only got millions of followers, Joe Schmo is getting that Netflix special.
We're back to
back to the Netflix special.
We circled back, which is also a comedy skill.
I can't even take it.
I know.
Okay, I'm not going to be bitter. We're going to change the subject. Anyway, we're talking because we're happy and we're talking about your comedy. So were you like funny as a kid?
No.
Oh, really?
You weren't the Weisenheimer kid?
No, not at all. I was like the good student. I didn't smoke or drink. I was closeted. Didn't have any boyfriends. I wasn't fooling around with anybody. I mean, I wanted to be. But no, I grew up in a family with 3 brothers. I was teased all the time. I would cry and be sensitive. So it's shocking to me that I'm a comedian now. But I love it now because now I have the microphone and I'm in charge.
Right. And the 3 brothers cannot bully you anymore. The hell with them.
They can, but I have the microphone.
You have the microphone. What it was all about.
So no, I wasn't funny at all as a kid.
So I know, went to Amsterdam.
I did.
What was behind that?
So right out of college, I was a working actor, between gigs.
Yeah.
My dad grew up in Holland. So he's lived here.
Okay.
There was that connection.
He's lived here for over 60 years. But my mom is American, so my dad is Dutch. So I'm Dutch American. So I had a chance to go visit my grandmother, my grandfather.
Oh, nice.
So I went to visit her. I'm like, you know what? I should learn Dutch. We never learned Dutch growing up. I said, why don't I stay here for a few months and take a Dutch class? Stayed for 4 years.
Wow. It's a hard language. I don't find it an easy language.
It's not easy. It's not intuitive at all. But I had heard it growing up all the time. So I think it came to me quickly.
You stayed 4 years.
I did. So, it was the 90s. So things were cheap.
Right.
It was easy for me to get an apartment. And then I was able to pursue Dutch citizenship through my dad. So I made it my permanent home. And I started doing comedy there. Now you asked about
that's interesting to me because it's totally different there than here.
Well, here's the thing is that I was an actor. So I didn't have any experience with stand-up comedy. I knew what it was, but I had no interest in doing it. So I can't try out for plays yet because my Dutch isn't good enough. So I'm like, I'll go to some open mics and tell a story about, locking my bike in the rain.
Did you do that in English or Dutch?
I did it in English because if you've been to Holland, you know that their English is probably better than ours.
Yeah, and they do all speak it.
Oh, man, they study 5 languages. Their education.
I know, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So English is not an issue. So I went to do this open mic, and because of the language barrier, I didn't know it was a contest. And so they give me the equivalent of $100, like you won. And then
okay, that's really. Hold on, I'm taking a moment.
True story.
That's really impressive because you weren't from there. No one knew you. I'm sure they all had their friends in the audience.
Yeah, and
also,
you
won.
But I think they thought it was funny because I'm this tourist who's messing up her bike, and I did the story at Joe's Pub as part of Generation Women. So I wear a raincoat. And it's a whole funny story about when I first arrived in Amsterdam. I met my first girlfriend there. So I tell it, but see, the stakes were so low because I was just doing it to get out there. You know? And I think that's why it happened.
Yeah, you didn't care. You were throwing it out there.
And then people start coming to me saying, "Oh, can you do 20 minutes at my event?" I went home. I said, "I guess I'm a comedian now." And I never looked back.
I love that.
That is such a great story.
And it never would have happened.
Right. Mina, can you move over just a little bit? I want
you're listening to Port. It becomes like the Titanic here where they go, there we are.
I have to get closer to Wendy.
There we are. So I looked at a lot of your stuff. Your girlfriend stories were really funny. And the bike, can you share that with our audience riding the bicycles there?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, I'm going to see my ex, who's of course my friend because I'm a lesbian. It's required. So we will ride bikes in Amsterdam soon.
They don't all have U-Hauls. That was just a bad joke.
They can't fit in the canal streets. The streets
I'm sorry, that was such a low joke.
No, it's an oldie but goodie.
It is an oldie but goodie.
So we ride bikes and then you take someone on the back of the bike. So that was all very sexy. So I spent 4 years in Europe and I was being booked at Europride because again, there wasn't a tradition of comedy in Europe at that time.
Amazing, right?
So it was the perfect storm where I was one of the few lesbian comedians in Amsterdam. So I got all the gigs. Wow. And so I also was with a Danish woman for a while. So I just worked my way around the continent. I had a really
You're having a grand old time on your bicycle.
Yes.
You were good to go.
In the rain.
With the ladies.
I came out in Greenwich, Connecticut, which was very traumatic at the time, early 90s. So when I got to Europe, I was healing and having fun.
Yeah, of course.
Well, now also, I just wanted to know, in the 4 years that you spent in Amsterdam, so you got to see your grandmother, spend a lot of time with your grandmother while you were there, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because that's 4 years of that intergenerational.
And
that's a wonderful thing that a lot of people don't get that opportunity.
It's true. I hadn't thought about that. Thank you for saying that because I also got to speak Dutch with her, which was very meaningful to me.
Wow.
Because, growing up, we always spoke English in her home because they all spoke great English.
Right.
We visited all the time, but my cousins all spoke English, so we never learned Dutch. And my parents have said they regret not teaching all because my brothers don't speak it.
But you're fluent in it from living there, pretty much.
Conversationally fluent.
Okay, that's great.
I couldn't talk to a doctor.
You know what? You can't talk to a doctor in English either. So you can't even get to see one. So we don't even need to worry about that.
And then if you do get to see him, you can't afford him. So
there you go. Right. The three of us are doing really good here today.
Literally every week. I want to every week.
We should talk about that. So it is interesting to me because, you know, what I learned about you, I watched a bit of Miss Personality. And you know what? I think you want to roll the video now so we can
Sure.
tell everybody what we're talking about. Let's take a look at Miss Personality.
Mina Hartong. Mina Hartong.
There we go.
So my wife and I have been together for 22 years this year. And that is actually 52 years in cat years, which is how lesbians mark time, in case you were wondering. Again, teacher here to help. We've been together a long time. We're trying to keep the love alive. Our version of 69 is a little bit more like a mutual foot massage, you know, after a long day, but we're trying. She is half Thai and half Japanese. I call her my part Thai lover. When my mom first met my wife, she called her Oriental. And I was like, Mom, you know, you can't call her that. She's not a rug. What should I call her then? Her name. Yeah. So if you know Thai people love to joke around. They love to be silly. I love that side of her. The Japanese side of her is a little bit stereotypical. There are a lot of rules, right? Like no shoes in the house, of course. The sex toys have to be in alphabetical order at all times. Okay. And she is the cleanest person I have ever met. Like, she will take a shower every night, no matter how long a day she's had. I'm not talking like a quick rinse. I'm talking like she could perform open heart surgery after scrubbing down like this. So when I first met her, I was like, this is so great. We'll take a shower together every night. We'll keep the love alive. Yeah, no. I think a lot of you in this audience are old enough to have seen the movie Silkwood. Yeah, with Meryl Streep, when like she gets covered in radiation, right? And like they hose her down, like scrub her until she's bleeding. Yeah, that's what it's like in the shower with my Japanese wife. Yeah. So, but I did try it once in the early days. I got in with her and she was like lathering me up. I go, this is nice. And she said, do you want me to do your back? I said, sure. So I turned around and she's like, dirty white girl. It wasn't as much fun as it sounds. Yeah. So she's super clean, and that's nice. And in my house, there's the right way, there's the wrong way, and then there's the Japanese way. And just so you know, the wrong way is the white way, which is how I do things. And then the right way is the Japanese way, which is how she does things. So she doesn't like me to do anything in the house, right? I load the dishwasher, she reloads it. I do the laundry, she redoes it. I pack my suitcase, she repacks it. She says that watching me pack my suitcase causes her physical pain. Physical pain. So, you know, I love my wife. I don't want to cause her physical pain. And I used to fight her on this. I used to be like, you know, we're feminists and we're women and we need like an equal distribution of labor in the household. And now I'm like, why am I fighting her on this? Right? It's like, so now when we go on vacation, I just lay all my clothes out like Lady Mary from Downton Abbey and wait for the vacation to begin. Thank you for playing that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Very, very funny.
I'm just so proud of it. You know, it was like 20 plus years in comedy, being able to put this together into like a television special, hair and makeup, directed by Lisa Ginsburg, who's out of LA.
Great. Hi, Lisa Ginsburg.
Lisa
We always
was
give shout outs here. Yeah.
Yes. Hire Lisa for any comedy special. She is brilliant and patient and wonderful.
Nice. No, who were some of your inspirations? Like, do you like Kate Clinton or?
I love Kate Clinton.
Yeah, I think she's great.
Yeah, I mean, all that group, because I was a baby comic in Provincetown in the early 2000s. You know, before Instagram, handing out my flyer, barking on
the
commercial
street,
street.
right?
Oh,
Yeah, on Commerce Street, yeah.
I think that's a good skill also to have. So Kate was there, Michelle Ballin, who you all know from New York.
Yeah.
Maggie Casella, Leah Delaria, Karen Williams.
What about Mo? I love
Sean,
Mo. Do you remember
Mo.
the Kathy and Mo show?
Of course.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And as a kid, I loved Lucille Ball. I still love,
too.
I still love to watch her. Lily Tomlin. I was a huge fan of Robin Williams. I miss him every day.
Amazing.
So those are all ins. And Whoopi Goldberg, of course. I hear her show is coming back to Lincoln Center. They're reviving an amazing show.
Yeah.
So
So many female comics are inspirational
women
to you.
are funny.
women are funny. And okay, I'm going to say this. I loved Robin Williams, but do you think that women in general are funnier than men because of how we see things? It's honest and it's more vulnerable.
No, and it's a great question. I don't know if we're funnier as much as I think that we connect with our audience.
Interesting.
Better. I think there are more women comedians who can connect more immediately to their audience because they are also in an other group or an oppressed group, or they, anyone who's living sort of outside of that margin, I think can connect more immediately.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though we're very funny too. Yeah.
Yeah. One lesbian comedian that I interviewed years ago that I just absolutely adore is Vicky Shaw from Texas.
Yes. Well, Vicky works with Olivia Cruises, where I work as well. And
nice.
I saw some of your shows from Olivia.
So Vicky is great. Also, I was going to mention her as well. She's so hilarious and so talented.
Yeah, and just such great storytellers. But then you've also got like Coco Peru, like a drag queen.
The drag performers.
The storytelling aspect, that's more difficult than what they make it look, than what you make it look,
Well, a lot of what you showed is a long, I don't even know if I would call it a joke, right? But it's a longer story with a punchline is how I see it when I watch it back. Right. And again, coming from a theater background, I have a couple of punchline jokes that I've told for years, and I love them. I love when I arrive at them. But mostly what I'm doing is I'm just telling anecdotal stories that are autobiographical that are funny.
But that's what people, I think, connect to. When I took that Steve Rosenfeld comedy experience, he took all of my stories and put them in a setup and punchline format. It was so unnatural to me. I remember this joke. I went to school in upstate New York, SUNY Binghamton. Everyone was pre-law or pre-med. I was premenstrural. That is totally not funny. Don't laugh. It's not funny, Tim.
I mean, it's funny, but it's an easy laugh. You know what I mean?
But it's like he took the heart out of it. What I love about your story had me sitting. I wanted to hear more about it. You did a story that in one of your videos that I really loved about riding the bike with this, beautiful girl that you had met, and you didn't know whether you were going to be having her on the back or you were going to be on the back and she was going to be that. It was funny. It's a funny situation.
Well, I feel like what funny people do on stage is that we get vulnerable so our audience doesn't have to.
Yes.
God, that's a teacher in you that knows that. That is perceptive.
I also learned that from Keith Johnstone, who was one of my improv mentors. Fabulous teacher. And he said, the audience actually is okay if you fail, because then it makes it okay for them to fail.
Right.
At life or whatever. So, but listen, there are all kinds of comedy. The setup punchline is great. It's great at certain venues, right? Maybe sometimes on cruises or casinos but everyone's looking for all different kinds of comedy. This is just the kind of comedy that I am good at.
Right.
I've got a professional question for you. When you're on stage, is it more fun to have the audience just be quiet and laugh, or is it maybe more engaging? Like if somebody, which do you prefer?
Answering with someone.
I definitely prefer the former, because I think I'm doing a monologue really in a story that I like to drive a little bit more of that car and have them reacting and laughing with me.
You like to tell your story and drive the car.
And then if there's a spontaneous moment that comes up that really feels right to me, I'll play into that. But I don't do a whole lot of crowd work or banter in my style.
Yeah.
Not that I would.
That is almost like a different type of comedy. You've really got to be on your toes.
Some people do only that. Like Jason Stewart does pretty much terrific crowd work.
Well, David Mills does perception and storytelling. He's had a residency here too. But when I went to see him at Red Eye, he got going with somebody in the audience and it was hilarious. But I thought, God, you really have to be, to tell your story. You can tell your story. It's great. But you don't know what that person in the audience is going to get back to you. And it was like watching a masterful game of Olympic tennis, watching him do that.
No,
and I'm like,
David is brilliant.
David's brilliant. And sarcastic. I love it. He's so sarcastic. And there was just, he and this guy were going back and forth in the funniest way. He made the guy funny. This was like a normal person. And we were all laughing at not laughing at, but laughing with.
Right, but he still always is driving the car, right?
He drove exactly what you talked about.
It's a high level of improv.
Right. It's
right. I'd like to get better at it. Yeah.
There was a comedian, oh my God, back in like the 80s to 90s that did only crowd work or all crowd work. And she had one name. All I can think is Poppy. It's not Poppy. Shit. It's going to drive me nuts.
Paula Poundstone then, but she
I
does-
love
No,
Paula.
I love Paula.
She
Yeah.
does material too, but she does
Right.
a lot
No,
of
it was before Paula, I think.
I think that's the hardest. Pudgy. It was Pudgy. What happened to Pudgy?
I don't know that. I have to look up that work.
Tim,
Yeah.
what the heck happened to
Hysterical.
Pudgy?
Hysterical. She would talk to all these people in the audience, and by the end of the show, she would go back and recap this one, and this. Like,
Yeah.
just remarkable talent
I think
with
that's
with
really
that
difficult.
improv. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but check her out. Check her
wondering,
out.
one of the things I really wanted to ask you, and again, I like hosting and I like introducing comics. I love doing this kind of thing. I shied away from regular stand-up like what you did, like an hour on that stage. I had a number of bad experiences at mostly male-dominated shows, at the Comic Strip, at the Duplex, at Stand Up New York. And the audience was very drunk. I was put on late. And the males, it was almost like, tell us about your tits. They didn't say that, but that was, it was somewhat implied. Did you ever experience that kind of thing with that?
Oh, yeah.
How did you deal with it?
I started pivoting and producing my own work. I didn't spend a lot of time there.
You didn't spend it. Yeah. I didn't like it. It was like,
it was the comedy. Yeah. The comedy was very male dominated for.
Yes.
So that's also why I produce shows, because I want to put women on stage. And I also work with a great group here called the Women's Comedy Collective, and that's what they do as well.
Right.
Because they're looking for these safe spaces, and also they're looking for stage time.
Right.
You can't get better without stage time. But I definitely experienced that. And I've been there and I know what that's like. And I still, I follow so much comedy and I still see not much anymore. It's getting better. But I still see these shows where it's like all these men and one woman. I'm like, what world are you living in?
But they are, a lot of them are that. And I'm going to be crude. A lot of the jokes are dick jokes. They're not funny.
Well, that's why I tell my vagina joke. Because I'm
right. What do they say when they go low?
Vagina.
When they go low, we go lower. Literally.
Is it lower though?
Oh my God.
Is it lower?
She's being out. But
no, I can totally relate to that. It is true about the business. It's a very male-dominated business.
Yeah,
and we're like the clowns of the acting world. We don't have a union. We're just here like, doing some jokes for drinks, maybe $20. So
now, do you ever use like props or costuming? I was going to say, because that's bringing the theater and comedy. To blending the two, I
don't want to give too much away from the show
because we want people to come to the show and see it.
But I do use some props in the show, and that's why I started doing the singing and dancing as well. And I'm not a good singer, but I do parody, and I do parody dancing as well, because I want to bring my theater experience in there.
Right,
absolutely. Trina Turg is my favorite designer. And so that's
I love Trina Turg.
Me too.
Oh yeah, she's got good taste.
I just got back from Palm Springs, so like
you did.
Oh, I love Palm Springs.
And so I'm wearing one of her pieces in the special. She did not loan it to me because I'm not famous enough.
You paid for it. You paid for it.
I rented it from the runway.
You rented it. You rented it. You didn't fly it out and out. Maybe you could get it online used.
Yeah, but Trina liked it. She liked it on Instagram. So there you go. So
there we go.
But so I don't do costumes per se, but I do love Tim to dress up on stage. That's also the super girl in me. I when I do my 1 hour show here,
of course,
I will be, and I like a cabaret room. I love.
You want to be beautiful. And
my first gig was Don't Tell Mamas.
Okay.
So that's
Sidney Meyer. Oh my God! And he just did.
That was actually my first. That was actually my first cabaret room.
Was it?
Don't you love that room?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you did Joe's Pub.
I did. That was the story I did about Amsterdam.
Right.
Yeah. But I have to do this show at Joe's Pub. So Joe's Pub, if you're listening.
Okay.
So it's on the list. This is really exciting. So did you have like anyone that you met in an audience that was just really awful and you had it out with on stage?
I did not.
You've been lucky. Yeah.
And I'm selective about where I
right.
It was just probably why I don't work as much as I could.
Well, and that brings me to my next question. I've interviewed gay comedians. I've interviewed trans comedians. Do you find it at all limiting to describe yourself as a lesbian comedian? Do you find it's limiting?
And that's interesting you bring that up, because one of the stories I tell in my special is that when I first started doing a producer on a small show, like a 15-minute spot, right? And he pulled me aside and he said, you're really funny and you've got a great, charming persona, but you shouldn't do so much gay material. And there was a comic of color, a man of color, who had just done his whole set about that.
Being black.
Yeah. And in this case, black. So I was like, huh. And so I just sort of ignored that and kept going.
Right.
Now, would I work more? Maybe. I mean, now not so much. I think now it doesn't matter as much, but in the 90s, maybe.
Right.
We know that wonderful Netflix that Paige Hurwitz produced about the out comedians.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they talk about that. Suzanne Westenhofer talks about that, about how they would have gotten more work if they had stayed closeted. And that's a choice that people made at that time. But for me, my material is so personal. Not just about being queer or being a lesbian, but
it's your life,
my dysfunctional family, and now my marriage, and being a teacher. I couldn't imagine, how would I do that?
Right.
How would I write my material that's so genuine without
genuine? Right.
Exactly. And you want that authenticity, and the best way of authenticity is write what you know.
Well, and then exactly. And people are now catching up, right? We use the word life, and people used to wince and be uncomfortable, and now they're like, it's nothing. So I feel like the comedy community has caught up to me.
Do you find though, when you get out of town, and I've asked Tim and Ike this when they take 50 Shades of Gay on the road, we're all in New York here, and we're used to hearing my wife or same-sex marriage and all of that. I do wonder, and especially now with the way things have gone, if there's any difference when you go on the road and how people react. If you're like I was going to say Peoria, Illinois. I don't know why I simpled that out,
but not on the coast, right? Not
right,
on LA,
right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in your title, it's gays in the title, right?
Right.
I was just going to say it's kind of there and kind of expected.
This personality is not necessarily. We don't know what we're getting.
So Billy Bob and Jethro think they're going to a comedy show about some girl named Miss Personality,
some cute girl with a semi-short
haircut.
Right. Yeah.
She looks cute,
but
got a good personality.
And I hope so. But that's why I named it that. But what I do when I am on the road, I do sometimes open with being a teacher. So I sort of try to make that wider connection with the audience. And I would sort of open with talking about coming out in Greenwich, Connecticut. So I sort of like bring them in, and then you see that you can be comfortable and safe with me. Let's talk about that I'm gay.
Right.
So I might change the order of things.
That's interesting. Did you start doing that though because of the times we're in now?
I've been doing it for a while.
You have been doing it for a while.
And that would work. That's a good way of progression of events and
get them on the side. Yeah.
So is your family, your parents, would they be behind you doing this comedy career?
No, not at all.
Because you left your fallback position, which is teaching.
Yeah,
what, right. Out of your mind?
I mean, my mom likes being in the show. She's a big part of the show.
Of course.
So I think she always says, if it weren't for me, you wouldn't have any material. So there's that. I think my dad, he's not happy about it because I had this teaching job and he hoped I'd become a principal or whatever. And what I said to him is, I said, if I wanted to do that, I would have done that. I'm a pretty determined person.
You seem like you are.
I'm going after my second act of comedy in my 50s. So I've either got to be crazy or very determined. So, no, he's not too pleased about it, but he doesn't really have a vote anymore because
because it's your life.
I'm in my 50s. So
exactly.
Now, tell us about your wife.
Oh, so Pia. Well, she is a blast. She is such a good sense of humor. You say who was a funny kid growing up?
She was the funny one. That's
yeah. So she has a much better sense of humor about herself than I do. And she's so willing to be in the show. And now people say to her after the show when we go on Olivia cruises together or go on tour if she's there, they're like, wow, you're such a good sport for being in the show. She thinks it's hilarious. And now we're at the point where we're writing material together.
Oh, nice.
Pia is very reserved. She works in the visual arts and the architectural field. But she loves to, to joke around. Yeah. She's very supportive of because what we're doing is nice at this age to be pivoting into like a, full-time performance.
It's so funny. She keeps saying at this age, it's an age I'm never going to see. ever again that I left behind decades ago at this age. You're too much. The one thing Tim and I believe in as talent is talent. And well, I've had people on this show in their 80s that are working all the time.
Mhm.
And we love putting that out there because that's all it should be. But that brings me, it's a segue to my next question. You mentioned when we were watching your video, your Miss Personality, and you were like, the part of the audience didn't get the Silkwood joke because they were too young.
Mhm.
How do you as a performer tailor your comedy? Because I've lived through decades. I can do stuff now, but I also have, the Silkwood thing was so funny to me because I knew exactly what that was, but the kids didn't get it.
Well, I did this joke the other night on Sunday, and it was mostly a young audience. It was interesting because I don't tailor. I just sort of tell them material.
Right.
That's where the delivery comes in, I think.
Because that's the technique.
If you're delivering the joke in a way, they'll get it, even if they don't know the movie.
Right.
They'll get the rah, rah, bleeding,
Right.
And there was one person in the audience who knew what Silkwood was. Now, I filmed the comedy special in Palm Springs. Shout out to Palm Springs.
Right. Well, Trina Turk.
Yes, Palm Springs. Trina
Springs.
Turk, Palm Springs is my second home. So I built my audience there during the pandemic. And that's why I deliberately filmed it in Palm Springs. So we had fantastic 2 sold-out shows. And they did their job as a studio audience. But no, to answer your question, I don't really tailor it. I'm always looking for new material, but it's mostly new material about my life. That's my life. Right. And then my wife is always doing stuff that I like, and then she's like, "Put that in the show. Put that in the show."
Right.
So we're working on some new stuff. So we're having fun with it. We want to think about doing content together. Pia is a very.
I was just gonna.
Yeah, right, Tim.
She's a very private person, but I think she's coming around to it because I do need those followers. I don't.
So you're thinking of creating things on TikTok?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if she's willing.
Yes.
Our friend Dorothy Bishop.
She could be, excuse the pun, but she could be the straight man.
Our friend Dorothy,
prim and proper and all of that, and then
often called sir, so she does pass.
Dorothy Bishop, who does the Dozen Divas show, is a very good friend of ours. I love her to death, and she's hilarious, a woman in comedy for sure. Also did the cruise ship lines for years, but she has really her show is at Triad pretty much every month. And she does diva impersonations.
Oh, we need to take you.
I definitely want to take you because you need to see her. She's hilarious.
Oh, I want to go.
All funny women should support other funny women, but she has really made a name for herself on TikTok, and she is really funny. My thing for TikTok that I can't, it's like when I see the most mediocre person in the world on there with millions of followers, I'm like, Dorothy keeps telling me I need to get on TikTok. I can't do it.
I'm on it, but I don't make enough content.
I can't.
So, and the young people, here's a tip. The young people are helping me. You can film yourself for 10 minutes on TikTok. You can just do and you can stop and stop and stop and start. So you can have your little clips.
Right.
That was a trick that I learned because, this whole thing of like having to get in makeup and hair. And then the young people are like, just film yourself as is. I'm like, really?
Yeah, no, that's I think that's what
chip clip for my neck.
What do you call it? A chip clip?
That I need a chip
clip. I had a soap
neck.
Opera actress almost strangled me when we were in pictures together. I'm like, what are you doing? She says, I'm making you look 30 years younger than you are.
With duct tape. I need a drag queen to help me with the duct tape. I mean,
they have face tape that you can use now.
This could be TikTok right now. That's the thing. We should not be intimidated.
We could give tips.
We could. This is our TikTok.
No. Before we go to some of the viewers, the comments, I want to get a picture of us because it's clear.
Yeah. Definitely. We have to do it now when we're on air. Otherwise,
it's blurry. We try to do it afterward.
Yeah, everybody can do everything. I'm just going to smile. Okay.
So ready? In 3, 2, 1. And then what I'm going to do is when the preview moves out, we'll do one more, and then we'll read some of the comments from the viewers. Ready? In 3, 2, 1.
Cool.
Tim, did I blink?
Right.
Ready?
Okay, wait. Okay, we're going to do one here.
I love this.
We got to go high. She's got to go high so that we look svelte.
My niece taught me this. This is the over 30 angle.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Lizzie, my beautiful niece. Okay, here we go. This is fabulous.
Good. Okay. Oh, we have comments.
Richard Skipper, our dear friend Richard Skipper.
We love Richard Skipper. Yay!
I've got actually on down towards the end. Richard says, well, he has a couple things. He said, Pudgy and I headlined together in Atlantic City. She passed away years ago. And then he says, Mina and I met on a plane last year.
Oh, yeah. Richard, you have to have her on your show. She's hilarious.
And he says, I love Dorothy Best show. Yes. So we all, the four of us need to go, like you, me, your wife, and you, and Wendy. Let's all go see Dorothy together.
Yes. Yeah, we will. That's a plan. Okay.
So Rose Trentman said, looking forward to meeting Laura.
Laura Dunya on Sunday for her campaign. If you want to come, we'd love to see you.
Wonderful.
Kay Hines. Hello, Kay.
Kay, hi.
Oh, beautiful people. Okay. Rose said a pitchy aunt like Aunt Agnes, the pitchy aunt of Steve Harvey. There you go. Thank you. That's a good prototype.
Ants are very important.
And they can be
Deandra says, great. Thumbs up. And yep, there we go. So thank you, everybody, for the comments and for tuning in. We do appreciate that.
Yes, we love them. Yeah. What did you want to mention?
I forgot to mention just a shout out to Rehoboth Beach.
Oh, we love Rehoboth Beach.
Because, and there I am with my Instagram. So follow me.
I'm holding it up.
Follow everybody on this YouTube. We all need followers, friends.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm doing a wonderful gig called Women's Fest. It's a whole weekend that they do in Rehoboth Beach, sponsored by Olivia. April 9th and 10th, and I can't wait to see everybody down in Rehoboth.
Wow,
so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
This is great, and I love your card.
Is that at the center, or where is that?
Where it's at the Rehoboth Convention Center, but it's part of Women's Fest in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. So it's their annual women's.
Nice.
I'm very excited.
Good for
very excited to get down there.
Well,
and then old lady business card, and it's big because then I can read it.
No, I loved it. She gave and it's on both sides in case you can
read. I could read that too, and also in a dim restaurant, I could probably still read that.
Yeah, so this is great. Thank you.
Just trying to get more followers.
Look at this. Look at my notes. My notes size there. It's not all that different.
Oh, this is exactly. Can I hold this up?
Yes.
This is what my set list looks like. Also,
yeah.
Good. I feel so at home here.
We're so impaired. People have no idea we're impaired.
Now, speaking of followers, how can people find out more about Mina Hartong?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for asking that. So the biggest thing you can do to help me out is follow me on Instagram or TikTok, because that is where comedy club bookers look. Facebook, as much as I love a good Facebook, it doesn't help me get into comedy clubs. So I want to tour this show. It's a great show, Miss Personality. I've done it in New York. I do it in LA.
You did it in Palm Springs.
But I want to go to Illinois.
Right.
You know? And
exactly.
So yeah, please, Instagram and TikTok really help comedians.
Well, Instagram, it's backwards. It's Hartong Mina.
Yes, and I have to change that. I need to ask a young person, but
ask a young person.
I know, but I will say this, Tim. If you type in Mina Hartong on Instagram, you'll still see there.
Yeah.
Okay. And also on YouTube, and go to Mina and also go to minahartong.com.
Yes, I have. Thank you. I have a brand new website that I'm very proud of as well.
Yeah, by the way, it's a very good website.
Oh, good.
It's navigationable, and you can digest the material. The color choices are easily readable.
Well, if you need a website, ask me, because I can get you to my designer. She did a wonderful job.
It's a beautiful website. Yeah, it's a really great.
And I try to always hire women. That's my thing.
I love that. Good. We all got to stick together. When are you going back to Palm Springs?
Probably this fall.
Okay, I need to turn you on to Alexis Hunter if you haven't met her yet. Do you know her?
Familiar name.
Yeah, she's very big in Palm Springs. She's been on the show. She was the partner of Joy Lansing, and she wrote a book about Joy Lansing that she's working on. And she is, her thing though, that was many years ago. She's an amazing jewelry designer. And where I'm going with this is, you do live performing. You can, I'm sure she would lend you things to wear. She sends me things from my best. She's great.
Alexis Hunter, great. I will check her out.
Shout out to Alexis Hunter. We love her. We love everybody who tuned in today. Thank you for being here. We will be back, of course, next week. Be there or be square. And please catch my other show tonight, TriVersity Talk. I have on a sapphic writer, Patricia Grayhall, out of Seattle, with her 5th book, which is great. We girls got to stick together. And when I say we girls, Tim, I mean you too.
That's right. Tim's
girl.
Girl. Girl. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.